guys. Welcome back from a very long hiatus that we've had. I think our last episode was probably the first week of the World Cup, which seems like forever ago right now. But yeah, it's good to be back. Good to have you guys with me. Welcome back, Ziad and Nikita.
Hi guys,
Yo,
thank you for
good to
having
be
us.
back. Let's go.
Yes.
You guys look happy. Is actually Ziad happy?
Sorry,
Is that the fact
mine is a
that
facade.
like
I'm not meant
Arsenal
to look
are chilling?
happy.
I thought Ziad is just happy because Arsenal are chilling quite high up the table. And yeah, Nikita, like you said, yours is a bit of a facade because you guys are competing with Chelsea for that top 10 spot. Do you want
Yeah,
to get us kicked off over there?
the, the only thing that makes me feel better is that we haven't spent like 600 million pounds to get into the top 10. But yeah, there's really nothing to smile about. Actually, it's quite dire. So yeah,
Yeah, that's an insane amount of money. I still can't believe it. Like, like is that money's not even real, man. I was talking to someone about it the other day. Like, it's just numbers that are thrown about or moved from one place to the other. It's like, imagine you had to pay whatever 120 mil. Like, imagine actually delivering that money in cash or like just to see it, man. Like, what does it even look like? It's just a guy sitting there looking at numbers. He's like, oh, is it only 120? Okay, sign, approve, and go. It's ridiculous, man.
This guy
crazy.
was
It's crazy.
definitely a FIFA manager, FIFA football manager, player in the past
Hundred
like
percent.
20 to 30 years. This guy was probably just like, okay, this guy's cool. I want to buy him. That's
Yeah,
probably what
no,
he's
I
doing
don't
with all
know.
these guys. Probably watch the World Cup. So Enzo Fernandez, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting like all these like pundits from after the World Cup. Like, okay, now whatever we do, we have to sign him. I don't care how much we pay. Goodness, messed up.
I want to bet
Um,
that Enzo Fernandez is the 2022 version of James. Like legitimately, wake me up in 2032, and this guy is gonna be the James of
Yeah, didn't
like world
they come
football.
from the same club?
Did they?
I
Great.
think so.
Benfica,
I
yeah.
think Rodriguez
Supports
was
my
signed from
theory even
No,
more.
no, no, no. James was
no
from Porto, yeah.
Monaco, Porto.
Yeah, James was
Yeah,
Porto.
James came from Porto,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Portuguese league, close enough.
Close enough,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, seriously, guys, I mean, literally one it wonder in the World Cup. At least he won it. I mean, sure he didn't get
Yeah.
very far, but yeah,
No,
this is
yeah, it
Yeah.
was Monaco. It was Monaco. Yeah, Porto before Monaco. Cool. Good for
Yeah,
them, man, making money, living life.
like my big question is, Nikita, what is happening at Anfield? Like, you guys are in some dire straits over
philosophical
there.
answer. Look, I mean, how much time have we got, man? Look, if I can make a recommendation, if anybody's got like, I think it's about a 4 minute read. If anyone's got some time, I would highly recommend if you're interested at all in the demise of Liverpool Football Club, or if you are a Liverpool fan, I would highly recommend going to read Melissa Reddy's article that she
Yeah.
wrote for Sky Sports on the weekend. I think it was a good article. I don't know how, but she's got like really interesting and good insights in the know-how of the club. And I think she sums it up well. There's been a consistent change in the strategic influences within the club over, I would say, like the last 2 years or so, and not for the betterment of the club. And the thing that and that's from the medical staff changing to the fitness to the nutrition to the backroom sporting director type setups to how the recruitment works. And the one thing that she misses in the article, which I think was quite obvious and silly from her, was why that's happening. And why I think it's happening, or why I believe it's happening, is because I think once the Super League was done and dusted or killed in dead in the water, I think FSG probably made the decision to sell the club. And I think once that happened, they were probably like, they didn't really invest as much. focus on the club and keeping the structures in place that they had implemented. And we all know what those FSG structures are, right? We all watched Moneyball, so we all know what it's like. And we all know that's why the club has been so successful with limited investment over the last decade. I mean, we all know that. So I don't think she made that connection in the article. And frankly, you can't blame them. The club is up for sale. And I don't think them going to, again, invest in the squad, invest in maintaining structures that they put in for the last decade, when they know the club is going to be sold by the end of the season, when they know new owners are going to change the structures, change the way of working, reinvest in the club. Anyway, it's not going to add value to the sale price. So why should they? I don't blame them for that. That's why I write off the season. It is what it is. Yes, it would be nice to not to finish in the top four. It would be nice to have Europe next season, not Europa League, but proper Europe next season.
Conference League.
I don't like anything other than the Champions League. I do not like playing on a Thursday. I do not like watching football on Thursday nights. If you know anything about me, you know I like Thursday nights were only for Grey's Anatomy, and that's it. So I think that's kind of where the club is at, and you kind of can't blame the owners,
But
you know, for
like
where we are.
so I see your points about the ownership and everything, but on the pitch as well, I'm noticing a lot of things like going wrong with Jurgen Klopp's management as well, and
Mm.
some of the players too. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he is not the same gravy that he normally is. Fabinho
I
as well.
I hear
Like,
you, and there's been definitely been a drop off in a lot of the players for sure. But just contextualize it, right?
yeah,
Realistically, Liverpool has, let's be honest, one of the smallest squads in the league. That's the honest truth, right? We have one of the smallest squads. Those guys came off playing 68 games last season, right? They then came back off a 1 week holiday to a preseason, then played 19 or 20 odd games, then played in a World Cup, right? Those guys are dead. Like, and this is exactly what we expected was going to happen. I've been saying it since last season now on this podcast. These guys are going to just fade. I mean, even the likes of Virgil van Dijk, who never gets injured, out with injuries. I mean, Jordan Henderson, legs for days, out with injuries. Bobby Firmino never gets injured, out with injuries. I mean, guys, I saw Tarkovsky was out with injury for 3 weeks. I mean, guys in the league that we're just not expecting is just fatigued. Um, I think our guys are just burnt out, to be quite honest. And like I've said before, a bit tongue in cheek, we're tired of carrying this league on our back. So it's so nice to see Arsenal United pulling one for a change, man. Tired of taking City to the tightrope, to the edge all the time. I really just think we are burnt out. Honestly, we've not had the investment in our squad that we've needed. Honestly, I do agree with you that there's been a massive drop off in a lot of the players. Fabinho is a key call out for me. I've never seen such a big drop off in a player. The last time I've seen such a big drop off in a player is normally when a male tennis player, has a baby. Um, and that's not even a joke. And his wife actually did have a baby this year. So yeah, and definitely, I mean, I think Klopp does not know what's happening with his team. I've always had this gripe with Klopp, and a lot of Liverpool fans have attacked me on Twitter for it. I don't think his in-game management is good. I don't think he makes substitutes at the right time. I don't think he makes the right subs. And I think that's being exposed a lot now. Because I always say Jurgen Klopp is a guy with 15 oaks. His squad is always 15 guys, and he burns those guys out. And that's honestly why I think Jurgen Klopp is a 7-year guy, because he takes those same 15 guys and he delivers. After 3 or 4 years, he delivers, and then he burns those guys out. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. I'm like just loving life. I'm taking the season as it is. I'm not getting overwhelmed by the fact that we're losing 3-0 at Wolves, enjoying watching other clubs for a change, watching masterclasses from Harry Kane scoring 200 goals. To be quite honest with you, on the weekend, seeing a guy score 200 goals and never win a trophy in his whole career, I'm still like laughing at that. Yeah, and
And then he
seeing
still
you,
commits to Spurs as well. He's like, nah,
insane.
I don't want to leave.
It's insanity, watching, Arsenal and United fight it out at the top, only to be usurped by Man City in May. I mean, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Man, Man City might not even get there in May, by the way.
Yeah, I definitely think that we need to have a discussion on that. But I first think you guys need to debrief what the heck. Okay, other than the fact Liverpool and Chelsea have been, like, too busy fighting each other for top top off of the table. You guys need to tell us what the hell has gone on at your two clubs. Ziad, I've been preaching about Arteta for like 2 years now. It's finally coming to roost. Tell us everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar, or well, not similar, but almost like along the lines of what you were saying with a small squad. It seems to work the best because you have those, that your starters available all the time, and if you don't have any big injuries, you can actually cope with it. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
luck, I suppose, when it comes to availability. Because
No, but
there's
he
some
looked
injuries that
good.
are just unlucky. Yeah,
No.
those things are different. If you have, obviously, you sign players, whatever the case is, but you still need to be available, man. And
Mm,
I just worry that if there's, okay, we saw the Gabriel Jesus injury, and they
mm,
managed to deal with that. Okay, midfield's a bit of a worry. If anyone goes down, then the drop off, I think, from the 11 to whoever's on the bench wasn't great. Still isn't great, but I was actually okay with the two signings, actually the three signings, just to give a little depth. The defensive one, not so much. I don't know much about Kivio, but Trossard proven in the Premier League, so it just
mm,
means that there isn't that big a drop off if Martinelli or Saka or one of those guys are out. I'm really 50-50 on Jorginho in the middle there. But
mm,
from the perspective of experience and adding someone who knows what it takes to win something, I think it's a good move because most of the squad haven't tasted victory at a high level. You had a lot of guys falling short in quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, whatever the case is. So to actually go all the way and win, it's going to come down more to experience than actual ability, which, we saw in the last game against Everton, where it became literally just a fight who wanted it more, who's going to jump up for that header and compete. And that's the real test. So I'm actually waiting to see that because you can play with a ball on the ground fairly well. The guys are well drilled. They know where to be. They know the system. And Arteta has a harder time staying in his technical area than anything else. It's almost like he wants to run on and get into position himself. But it's been interesting to watch. It's been pleasant to close out games, in the past where we wouldn't have been able to. Just going forward now, can we close it out? It's tough when you get towards the back end because now it actually starts becoming real. So mentally, the players were just, the first half of the season was exploration. Oh, we can do this. Let's see if we're gonna win. And now it's like you're on top after 20 games, and now it becomes expectation. And how do you deal with the expectation of being at the top? Like some guys will tell you, some top athletes, top players, they'll tell you they prefer chasing than being chased.
yeah.
And that again, just a mentality thing. So speaking of being chased, might be a bit more fun, less pressure to be United at the moment.
Just I'm not going to talk about United just yet. I'm just going to go back to this mental aspect that you were speaking about now, and I think it's quite evident with, like, after watching that documentary on Amazon, the All or
Yeah,
Nothing Arsenal documentary. uh, Arteta and his backroom staff, they delve quite deeply into the mental aspect of the game. it seems like they put a lot of eggs in that basket of like trying to push through those barriers, getting their players to that point, almost as if like, okay, 70% is mental and 30% is on the pitch, so you can actually win the game before you actually even go out there. It's all about how much they
Yeah,
actually want it. And I think he's gotten majority of his players on board over these, weeded out the ones that basically didn't buy into whatever he believed in, like the Aubameyangs and
yeah.
Lacazette. And he's been doing it like very slowly. Like I saw Cedric Suarez going out now in January. He was the one that was quite he was like the main one in that training ground bust up in that Amazon documentary. So it's like slowly weeding out the ones that he feels isn't going to be of benefit to the squad, and like bring in the people that he thinks is going to win titles with
Mm.
Arsenal moving forward. And I think that's one of the best things that a manager could do. Um, Exhibit A, Eric Ten Hag with Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's where
Crazy.
it works a bit. But what about Exhibit B when you send Cancelo to Bayern and you lose the weekend and he has 2 assists in 2 games and he's balling. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if City's gonna regret that in
Yeah.
the long
And
Yeah,
run.
I
no.
think he probably leaked all the documents to the Premier League. They were like,
uh,
"Ah, he was
but
on
yo,
the India.
it's crazy though. Like we all know how talented of a footballer he is, and like
Mm,
how technically good he is. Um, he didn't have a great World Cup. He lost his place to Delot in the Portuguese national team, which shocked me. Like I liked a lot, but there's no
mm,
chance
yeah.
that he's a better right back
Not
or a better full back than João Cancelo.
mm,
Um, so it's a bit weird. Like something must have happened at City that one caused him to lose form, and secondly, uh, just a complete breakdown of communication with basically Pep and the backroom staff, most likely. And then with all those rumors that came out afterwards on Twitter about Bernardo Silva wanting to push through a move on deadline, that he didn't want to play for Man City anymore. Who else? Ilkay Gundogan. He's been told that he can leave, and he doesn't want to play for Man City anymore.
but isn't
So
that
you
every
wonder.
transfer window? Like with the
Yeah,
same
Silva's been
oats?
trying to leave for like
Yeah,
18
Leave
months, isn't he?
yeah, like
yeah.
3 years or
Bernardo
something.
Silva's
Like
been he's been wanting Barcelona for so long, but he gets blocked every single time.
yeah, like
Mm.
what's the jig? Like that guy, I don't know. I don't know. Or
I
maybe
don't
they
know.
knew
Like
that this
everybody
thing
speaks about
was
7 seasons
coming.
in Klopp, but yeah, maybe they know. Like I was saying, now everybody speaks about 7 seasons in Klopp, but maybe there's something with Pep as well. Maybe he gets to a certain point in his career at the club and he loses the dressing room. We don't know. Um,
Look,
like
in just in general, like with teams and squads and stuff, there's a shelf life to everything, man. And like
Mm,
with managers also, the message, especially if you look at Pep system and Klopp, it's very intense.
mm,
So those systems, it can burn you out or wear you out over a long period of time, and it becomes less effective. The message. So either I always say this, right? That everything happens in cycles. From my background, for example, we used to always talk about the Olympic cycle, the 4 years, and every cycle you have to change something. So if you're keeping the same manager or coach, then you gotta change your core players, your skeleton of your team. And if you're keeping the same players, you might need a different manager because the message has to change or freshen up. Or and it's just the nature of people, man. If you around the same thing for too long, something has to change. There has to be something. And I find that with clubs sometimes they keep the guys too long because they also get sentimental about it, man. Like if you're ready to move on from say a Gundogan, then if you hold him too long and you know he's not good enough anymore for what you want and you want to replace him with Calvin Phillips or whatever the case is, then rather let him go. But then he has that kind of a contract year where he has a great season just before, then they renew him, and then his level of play drops. So
exactly.
there's all that to consider, and it's gonna pain me to say this, but I think Sir Alex Ferguson was probably the best at it because he went through probably 3 to 4, if not 5 different groups that he worked with. He never kept everything exactly the same. He adapted if it was style, he adapted in terms of getting rid of players that didn't fit anymore. Whatever it is, he just managed to stay effective, and I reckon he only left when he knew that he couldn't do better than that. He was like, nah, I'm done. I got Robin Van Persie, we won, I'm out. I can't redo this again. I can't change this again. I'm not gonna teach my goalkeeper how to play with the ball at his feet. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what he's
that's
But
learning.
but like that goes hand in hand with Arsene Wenger then as well, who did like brilliantly up until a certain point, but then he struggled to adapt and he got caught out. And he like that's the difference between the two of them. Ferguson knew when to resign, when to quit as manager,
Mm.
whereas Wenger carried it
But
on
it
a
was
little bit more, and
an
it was
ego.
evident
yeah,
that he, yeah,
that's the
I think
thing.
Wenger's ego got the better of him. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he got caught up in his ability to redefine football in his own way. At Arsenal, you know.
yeah,
I was made for Arsenal, and Arsenal was made for me, type of thing. Which
yeah.
unfortunately wasn't the case. Um,
But
yeah.
I
but
think like
but
the
look at
same thing goes for players, right? Like there's a lot of wingers that as they lose pace, they become wing backs. There is a transition, man. Like Wayne
Mm.
Rooney becoming a
Yeah,
midfielder.
absolutely. I mean,
You
yeah.
also have to be aware of your abilities and how you can contribute to the team. And if you're not willing to make the change,
change.
then
Yeah.
you need to move. Get
Mm.
another
I
player
mean,
in.
that's a great
James
example.
Milner, these guys,
Yeah,
they find ways to be effective
man.
instead of harping on the fact that I have to be a winger and
Mm.
I was always a winger and I was always a
Mm.
striker, but you can adapt.
Mm.
So, that's where these players can extend their careers.
Yeah.
I think we went off at a very odd
at,
tangent
at
there,
the end of
but
the day, like
Yeah.
I'm
at
about to
the
look
at
up
the end of the day,
about
we know that
2 o'clock.
Arsenal and carpet football is
Did we say
one
that
and the
about?
same. So I mean,
yeah,
they were like under Arsene Wenger, it's always been like trying to like play that beautiful football, and it, he hit the ceiling. But if we look at them now, it's the same. It's the same type of football, just modernized in a way that Wenger couldn't do it. Um,
yeah,
so it's like in a sense it's like passing of the torch from Wenger to Arteta. And I mean, if Arteta was around
via Emery.
back then, yeah, and like that would have been a easier transition um, compared to what you guys went through, and like we went through the same thing. Like Eric Ten Hag now showing that like it can be done. Like we went through Mourinho, Solskjaer, Louis van Gaal, who's that? David Moyes, that dude. We hit so many speed bumps and like so many obstacles, and now we finally have a manager. The owners like we're giving him loan players now in January. 3 loan players, Jack Butland. I didn't even know that guy was still around. Now he's playing for United, or rather warming the bench for United. But yeah, like he's making it do what with what he has, using the kids from the academy. He's not afraid to use them. He's not afraid to bring them on. That Kobe Mainu, he's like 17 years old. He's already had like 4 or 5 appearances now for United. So that's cool to see. Somebody like Mourinho would never have done that. Somebody like Solskjaer would have said he's going to do it, but then he leaves in McTominay and all these guys, no matter how many times they fail. So that's a breath of fresh air from a United fans' perspective. And I mean, we're reaping the rewards at the end of the day. Third in the Premier League uh, after what 2021 games. I don't know when
Yeah,
that's like how long ago that's happened. And we feel confident every time a team comes to Old Trafford now. 10, 11 games unbeaten at Old Trafford. It's been a long
Unfortunately.
time since that's happened as well. So
Darn it.
yeah.
the
The
theater of
state of the
dreams is
league.
back. The theater of dreams is back.
No, no,
What's
no. Just
this?
calm down, please, huh?
Yeah, please.
Please.
As
Just put
as
Let's
long
get
down.
to
as I
the
can
end of the
see,
season.
as long
Yeah.
as I can see that face on that look on Nikita's face, it's amazing. My heart
No,
is
The
no.
warm.
But
theater of dreams is back, but it's leaking.
yeah, the world needs to right itself quickly. I was like, I'm all calm, I'm taking it easy, and now you've just jolted me back into reality. Liverpool Football Club needs to pull itself towards itself. We need to get new owners, like a nice a billion pound investment in the summer. Thank you
Billion
very
rand is
much.
Tottenham with SA tourism.
Yeah, no, no, no. I don't want that. I'm also not sanctioning a billion pound investment in the summer. Little Kylian Mbappe action. We'll happily come to the theater of dreams and give you a nightmare. Thank you very much. Okay.
The
Kylian
funny
Mbappe
thing is
would
that
not
you,
go to a club that's not in the
Mm.
Champions League.
Yeah, no, fair.
man,
Come
I
visit
think
us on
that
a
guy would
Thursday
do
night.
anything for money. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Unless
was,
you
yeah,
make
I
him
think you must
sporting
correct
director.
yourself. Yeah, we don't have a sporting director. Our sporting director resigned in November, so you can come be our sporting director. It's fine. We don't need a
What do
sporting
you think
director.
the chances are of PSG being sold and then that same owners buying Liverpool?
I think it's quite
I
high.
I I don't I don't I don't think that's going to be the case. Not
I
covered by
tell
NDA, but I will refuse to comment. I suspect it will be
but
a
Nikita
United,
similar.
knows something.
no, but United and Liverpool, they basically being sold at the same time, so it's a bit difficult to the market. Even with Chelsea selling for whatever they did, it's slowing it down for the other two teams. Otherwise, they would have probably been bought by the same guy. He was just looking for a club, and Chelsea happened to be there.
I
Because people always choose United maybe because it's a bigger brand, right? But they're struggling to get offers unless we don't know anything or it hasn't come out
I
enough.
don't.
Yeah, I think everything is kept under wraps, like with regards to
mm,
United and Liverpool.
Look, I know the United number is a lot higher than the Liverpool number. The asking price is a lot higher than the Liverpool
Mm.
asking price, rightfully so. It's a much bigger club. It's
And
got a much
and
bigger brand value.
the Glazers want to leave their debt as well. So
Yeah,
whoever
like yeah.
takes
So
the
good
club
luck.
over,
So it's a
that's
much
like 500
bigger.
million.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a much bigger number that you're trying to buy. With the debt as well. The Liverpool, I suspect. Well, I say this, I suspect that the Liverpool deal hasn't gone through. I'm fairly confident that there was an offer on the table, and I suspect that there was a delay in the offer going through because of the City news.
Mm. Sounds about sounds right. Sounds believable.
So
Yeah,
are you
I think the City news puts things into a different frame for FSG. If the football
okay?
world is going to get real about financial fair play, then maybe FSG sees a future for themselves in football. Maybe, maybe, maybe.
Yeah, because what is that? Like that City news just like came like I mean we all knew it was coming eventually.
I
Um
didn't.
for
If
real.
I didn't think so, and
Man,
I still
this
don't think anything will
investigation
come
was
of it.
going for 4 years.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
anything's
been
going to
it's
come of it. I don't think they'll be found guilty. I don't think they'll be found guilty. You guys really think they're going to be found guilty? Hand on heart.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
they're going to be on the end of some sort of punishment. Whether that's just
How
a
quickly?
points deduction or fine,
Mm.
like I mean a fine's going to do nothing. Like they
Yeah,
need to
exactly
have
right.
some sort of like people are speaking about strip their titles. They're never going to do that. They're never going to strip their titles. This isn't Serie A.
Yeah, Serie A
We,
needs Serie A is the benchmark, right? Like Serie A is
yeah,
legitimately the benchmark. That's
they
what
just
they should be
like
doing.
kick Juventus out of the league, strip their titles, and be
AC Milan
like
went
tough
through the same
luck.
thing, eh? Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
So I mean, if the PFA have any sort of dignity, they would go along the same route. But I doubt it. I think if anything, they're just going to get a points deduction, and then work their way back from there. I think their players are too big of an asset for them that if they get relegated or if they get kicked out of the league, all those players are obviously going to go. There's no chance that Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland are going to be playing in League One or League Two. No chance. um, that's unlike the Juventus players, where all those players they stayed in CDB and they just fought their way back up. But yeah, it's interesting. Good thing to keep an eye on moving forward. Um, yeah, do you guys want to chat some FBL before we end? I've
You
been
mean
I've been doing I've
Ask
been
the
doing
ask the league
horribly.
leader over there.
you mean well, this league leader didn't even update a fantasy team this week,
Yo, I saw that
so
and I was wondering, is it a mistake or what?
yeah, I didn't update, so that
Uh,
went well for me.
It's fine, I'll take the
So
win.
thank
Because
you.
I
I
missed a
thought
couple in before that also.
So my
So
captain got a whole 4 points, Erling Haaland. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
nice.
I went with the Rashford captaincy. I was hoping that I would be unique, and then I checked everybody else's teams, and
Nah,
then
are
it's
you
like
serious?
a
People triple captained him.
yeah, like Rashford captain, and then Bruno Fernandes captain. So yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
I
jumped on
I
that
did that.
United train, and then
Yeah,
I went with a Leeds player as well, thinking that they also going to do some things in this double game week. But then Jesse
they
Marsh got
did.
sacked.
They got their manager fired,
Yeah,
and he just
the dude
brought
just
McKinney in.
yeah, he was trying to mold this team in the USMNT, and then he brings in another guy from America and he gets sacked. So I don't even
Yeah,
know who's going to come in.
Yeah,
Who's the guy that was there before him?
Bielsa.
Uh,
no
Bielsa.
chance. No
Yeah, a lot
chance.
of
Imagine
people
they
are
get him
calling for
back.
him. Yeah, a lot of people are calling for
Is
him
it?
to come back because I think a lot of people thought that he was going to get the Everton job.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty
But his
sure
system
that
takes long to.
implement. Yeah, yeah,
His
Yeah.
yeah,
system of only attacking and not defending.
yeah. That's the
Yep.
one. That's the one. And I think that Sean Dyche is probably kicking himself now because I think he would much prefer the Leeds job, bigger club, better fans, like
Better fans. I
probably a
feel like
better,
Leeds and
better
Everton's
money
fans are
on par. No, I mean you just got a beef with Leeds, but I mean Leeds
are
fans are top
horrible.
notch. I mean it's a big club. It's a cool city. It's a cool part of England to live in. I would much rather live in Leeds than I would in Liverpool.
Man,
Every
there's
five
there's
minutes,
actually a lot of
nothing happens in Liverpool. So I mean,
there's actually a lot of options for Leeds if you look at it. And then there's some Spanish guys that are
mm,
they the bookies favorites. I don't know who they are. But then you got Pochettino, Hasenuto, there's Stevie
Poch.
G, Frank Lampard's in the mix
Stevie
here.
G.
Rafa's available.
I think
Nuno
Rafa would be
Espirito
lekker there.
Santo. There's lots of options.
I think a nice Spanish guy with some flair would really cut his teeth quite well at Leeds. Now
Mm.
we would communicate with that Cockney accent, but I mean, I think he could
Could
really
be
do.
interesting.
Someone could do well at Leeds. I was quite shocked to hear that that was the eighth manager that lost their job in the Premier League. I didn't realize there'd been so many.
Yeah, it's
I can only
it's
Jeez.
think of three.
interesting.
But nonetheless, very, very sad for Jesse Marsh. I'm very glad that I don't have to hear that terrible American accent in post matches anymore, though. I'm super stoked about that. Also, I miss Bielsa on his haunches. So, up
Yeah,
you,
he's done
Yeah.
Bielsa.
this. But
Hope he
speaking of
comes back.
Leeds, who's going down?
Everton,
Yeah,
I
Forest.
still think Saints are going down. Yeah,
Saints
Hey,
seems
Saints,
like a lock.
Forest. Yeah,
Saints,
Saints,
Forest,
Forest,
and
and
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah,
Nah,
I think the three of
Everton,
them should go
Forest.
down.
Everton,
Forest is actually
Forest.
doing
I
okay.
don't know. I think Sean Dyche is gonna get that bus parked every single game. Just
They're probably
make
going to
sure
beat
there's
us
no
this weekend,
petrol in
right?
it at all, and just have it parked there, uh, and that will solidify their safety.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
I think
think
That's just
I'm gonna go with West Ham as a shock.
what
West Ham.
West Ham
West
still lingering there
Ham.
at the bottom, and
I
I
don't
don't
think
see
their
anything there.
stadium fits in the championship. Eh? I don't think that size stadium is allowed to be in. I think they have to go back. What is their old stadium called? Like
Your
the
what was
Upton
that?
Park. or Bowling
Yeah, yeah. I
Ground. What
think
was it?
Upton Park. Yeah.
bowling ground. Yeah. Yeah, I think they have to go back there. Eh? And no, I think it's actually housing development now. So they actually have to just play like
Yeah.
outside in like where the washing lines are.
Because
If you
they
go back to church.
struggling, man. They're not looking good at all. They just
I
can't
know,
string
check it.
together results. Bournemouth struggling, Saints are struggling. I think Everton will come up. Leeds play United, so they're gonna lose. So yeah, I think West Ham. I'm gonna go with West Ham. Let's see
It's
what
just,
happens.
We,
Forest will be shocking, eh? Forest will be shocking considering all the money they've spent and the
Nah,
fact that they held out on that
yeah.
shirt sponsor. What a
And then they went
shocking,
crazy in the market
shocking.
now in January as well. They got some more Atletico
Yeah,
Madrid players. They just went on a shopping
man,
spree everywhere.
they can take João
30
Felix
odd
too because
players.
I mean, because João Felix also missing another month of his loan.
Man,
So I
João
mean, there's
Felix
not.
is gonna go
Yeah.
to Wolves in the summer.
You're a terrible person. You are horrible,
But
horrible, horrible
They got
person.
a
can
good
we
manager, man. So
can we talk about that mid-table crunch game on Monday?
What are you
Everton
talking about?
versus Liverpool.
I don't know what game you're talking about. Mid-table
Crunch
for what?
game over there.
That is a relegation battle game. What are you talking about? We can talk
Yeah.
about it, but I reckon Mr. Dash is going to turn us over. No, I
yeah,
mean,
no, that guy's
Is that
dangerous.
at Goodison or is that at
it's a
Anfield?
Goodison. It's a
Oh,
Goodison.
okay. Yeah,
Liverpool.
no, I don't think you're expecting much from that game either.
I
So
don't expect anything from Liverpool. No, Monday the 13th of Feb at 10 on a Monday night. It's at home at Anfield. So,
and you guys should be good.
look, Van Dijk will be back. I'm assuming Bob Firmino will be back. We'll probably have Jota back, which I
Yeah, and
think
I mean,
Oh, that
contextualizes
sounds good actually.
yeah.
which contextualizes kind of the extent of our injuries, right? We're still missing Luis Diaz. um, I still
But
don't
then you have
understand the
like
Cody
Gakpo that
Gakpo.
came in, and
I
yeah,
still
he
don't
came
understand
in,
that
and
signing, guys. I still don't understand that signing. Jurgen Klopp must please sit me down and understand that signing.
he wanted
I
to come
Yeah,
to
really do.
United so badly, eh? Like Ruud van Nistelrooy was saying, because
He should
PSV, like
go.
he's part of the PSV board or something like that,
Mm.
and he
yeah.
was saying that he wanted United so badly,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
Liverpool offered more or something. Like that's
When you
why.
Yeah.
talk about Man United in your first interview with the club, it really doesn't go well from there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's probably not a good place to start Cody Gakpo. I've never seen. I think I don't know if what. Yeah, I mean, Mo Salah not being the focal point of your attack was probably not a good way to go, Jurgen Klopp. So, yeah, I think we'll probably get turned over, probably a 1-0 or something like that by Sean Dyche and his ginger moustache. Not looking forward to it. Might have an early night on Monday night. Monday the 13th.
Cool.
More like Friday the 13th.
Any final words from you guys before we pack this one up? Nothing?
I would like to
All good?
say, watch out for Manchester City, guys. They do not go to sleep. Do not rest on your laurels. Keep winning. Keep winning. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they're
From
coming.
they're coming. Those guys have. I know we've spoken about Bernardo Silva and Cancelo and all those guys, but they just pull these things out of the bag. Remember
Yeah.
January last year, this time they were 14 points ahead of us, and we took them to 1 point. And they just can pull, and they did the same to us. They just know how to win games in this period, the period where everybody drops points. So I really hope, I wish you guys the best. I really hope you take it to the wire. I'm so excited for this season. It's really nice to see other teams give it a good go. It's really, really refreshing
I
to
think I
watch.
called that, eh? At the starting of the season. I think I called it.
What
No Liverpool
what
and
did you
City
call?
in the top two. I
No
called it.
Liverpool
No
and
Liverpool, no
City.
City
Guys, I
Nah,
in the
think you're
top
gonna
two.
you
still be gonna be eating your words there, but
yeah, you're drifting there.
But
No,
yeah, you
not
did call
really.
it. You
Yeah.
called it, but
So
I still think City will finish in the top two. I still think I think they'll still win it. That's my
I
personal
also
opinion.
think
I still
so.
think they win it. I think they'll win it. I
look
think
at
they just
Ziad being
their squad
modest.
is too big. I think their squad is too big, guys. I just
No,
they,
fair enough,
Yeah,
fair enough. But I mean, like they do have limitations, like stuff like Rico Lewis playing at right back on certain occasions, and the guy's a left back. So
no, you're
there are
right.
some like limitations that I think opposition that they still have to play Arsenal twice, and that's probably something that Arteta is already working on.
Twice. Arsenal
Yeah,
twice.
yeah.
they didn't play them in the first half of the season.
Oh, but they beat you in the League Cup, FA Cup.
FA
Yeah,
Cup.
I think it was yeah one of those
Okay.
two. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
cool. I think that is all for us today. It was a great chat. Loved having you guys on. This was some cool little banter also like sprinkled into it. But yeah, before we end off, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Sportycast. Uh, give a listen to our podcast on Spotify as well. The link is always down in the subscription below. Yeah, any final words from Ziad and Nikita? Thanks you guys for showing
Let's
up.
go. Let's go. Double game week. We need the points.
Cool.
Peace. No double game.
AF I'm AF 4343 and I'll see you guys in a bit.